Hello and welcome to the Cricket World Cup experience. I'm your host Harvey Bhogal. What a match that was. Some people are saying that was the greatest game of cricket of all time, and in terms of excitement and drama, it probably was. The match was a tie, and then the super over itself was also a tie. England only won because they scored more boundaries during the actual match. So England win their first ever Cricket World Cup after reaching the final in 1979, 1987 and 1992. This victory is right up there with some of the greatest sporting moments of this nation, such as the 1966 FIFA World Cup and the 2003 Rugby World Cup. Now, many will feel that New Zealand deserved to win this match. They were definitely desperately unlucky, and you need luck to win a World Cup. They did very well on a difficult wicket to reach 241 for 8. Now, New Zealand needed one of their out of form openers to step up, and Henry Nicholls did with his 55. Then the middle order's been quite weak and has not been firing, but Tom Latham, the wicketkeeper, scored a vital 47. And then they nearly defended that score with the ball. The bowlers bowled very well. James Neesham took 3 wickets, 43 off 7 overs. Lockie Ferguson got 3 for 50 off 10 overs, and Colin de Grandhomme bowled an incredible 1 for 25 off 10 overs. New Zealand had England at 86 for 4, and they continued to take crucial wickets throughout the innings and actually bowled England all out. Then if we look at some of the turning points of the match, Bolt nearly caught out Stokes on the boundary, but just stepped on the rope as he threw the ball back inside to his teammate to catch the ball. The next over, it was a Stokes ricochet. It's becoming a very famous moment now, viral on social media. People are calling this the bat of God, after Diego Maradona's hand of God. And some have alluded to maybe there being some sort of divine intervention here. Now this arguably, those two incidents changed the game. Then in the super over, that was actually a tie also. And after Jimmy Neesham hit that huge 6, it looked like New Zealand were destined to win. But unfortunately, it was not to be. Now, in previous tournaments, New Zealand would have won because they'd lost less wickets. Now, as I've said before, the Australians, they are almost perform on a different level because they have a different mindset and a different mentality. Well, it looks like their Antipodean cousins across the Tasman are just the same. New Zealand took England right down to the wire. To defeat them, England had to win on a technicality. Now, Kane Williamson was the player of the tournament, and rightly so. He's probably the best player in the world. He's definitely one of the best batsmen. At this World Cup, he scored a whopping 578 runs. And he is one of the best, if not the best captain. His strategy, his field placings, his bowling plans are of the highest calibre. He has effectively dragged his team to the final with his performances with the bat and as captain. And on top of all of that, he is a gentleman. He is of the highest character. He is true class. He said that England deserved to win in the interviews afterwards, knowing just how unlucky his team were. Now, I have to say, only New Zealand could be this gracious, losing the World Cup final in this fashion. Now, if New Zealand deserved to win the match, England probably deserves to win the World Cup. It's been a huge revolution for them since that awful moment in Adelaide in 2015 when they were knocked out of the World Cup at the group stage by Bangladesh. Now, Andrew Strauss deserves a lot of credit for this as the director of England cricket at the ECB. He oversaw the appointment of Trevor Bayliss as coach, and he's the sort of coach who's really taken the pressure off the players and has allowed them to play freely and without worrying too much about the consequences. He also decided that England would prioritise white ball cricket. So alongside central contracts for test match players, central contracts were also given out for white ball cricketers. Previously, England players were not available for the IPL, but now they were, and some of the best players in the IPL are now England players. Before, England were behind the curve when it came to developments and innovations of the modern game. Now England are very much the front runners. Now, it could have been very easy to sack Owen Morgan as captain after 2015. However, Strauss decided that he was the right man to keep on, and he has really bought into this new philosophy and this new brand of cricket that England have developed over the last 4 years and demonstrated at this World Cup. Now also the counties, they really bought into this setup. So you could almost say that this World Cup victory is a victory for the whole of the England national cricketing setup. Now, whereas other teams have passengers or have weaknesses in their teams, England probably have the closest thing to a complete team. Bairstow and Roy opening, they really take the attack to the bowlers and really get England off to a flyer. Then you have Root at number 3, who's often the anchor and who rotates the strike very well. And even though he's not a big hitter, he always scores at a very impressive strike rate. Now the middle order was the weakness for Australia, New Zealand and India. But for England, this has been their strength and maybe what differentiates them from other teams. Morgan, Stokes and Buttler are the sorts of match winners that can really win a game for England and really take the match away from an opposing bowling attack. Then at the bottom of the order, Woakes, Plunkett, Rashid and Archer are all very useful with the bat. Now with the new ball, Woakes and Archer have been very impressive and very threatening. Then when you have a change of bowlers, you have a bowler like Wood who can bowl at over 90 miles per hour. Plunkett, like he was in this final with his 3 wickets, has been essential in those middle overs with his cross seamers and his cutters. Adil Rashid also had a very impressive semi-final, has been important for taking wickets in those middle overs. Archer bowling at the death has been very impressive and very economical in today's match and in the super over where he effectively won the match for England. Now for Ben Stokes, this truly has been a redemption story. There was a time where when you mentioned his name, you either thought of Carlos Brathwaite or that incident in the Bristol nightclub, which meant that he actually missed the 2015 Ashes. Now, surely he has to be the national sporting hero. He and Buttler really saved the day for England. They played the conditions very well. Stokes has already played 3 innings like this previously in the World Cup. And against the country of his birth, he produced the most incredible match-winning innings. Now, he let down England in the Ashes in Australia by not being there, not being able to play. His redemption story could really come full circle and be complete if he could lead England to Ashes victory this summer. Now, Jofra Archer, the other match winner, 24-year-old, a novice in international cricket. He wasn't even eligible to play for England months before. And before the World Cup, people were debating whether it was fair to allow him into the team at such a late stage when he could potentially take the place of another player who'd been there all along. Now, he's proving he's one of the best bowlers in world cricket. In that super over, he was smashed for a huge 6 by Jimmy Neesham. And at that stage, you probably thought New Zealand would win, but he held his nerve. And he's proving that he is really not just a bowler, but a competitor of the highest calibre, especially under pressure. Now, he surely has to be considered for a place in the Ashes team. Now, Jason Roy also has been central to this England side. They really missed him when they had that blip in the middle of the World Cup. Without him there, the top order just did not look very stable. Now, his main contribution today was his throw, which won England the World Cup. Earlier in that super over, he'd actually had a misfield, which cost England a run and could have cost England the match. Yet he made amends in the most high-pressure moment, maybe in sporting history in England for the last 30 years. He picked up the ball, he threw the perfect throw to have Guptill run out and to give England that victory. And that just shows the way England now are performing at the highest level under pressure. Now, this was an incredible match of truly epic proportions. And the good news is that here in England, this was broadcast on free-to-air TV. The hope is that many young people would have seen this match and would have thought, yes, cricket is the sport for me. I really want to take this up. And hopefully the youth have been caught up in this euphoria that's gripped this country after this World Cup final victory. Now, this could be a huge summer for English cricket. England are now World Cup champions. They could really put the cherry on top by winning the Ashes on home soil later this summer. So that's all from us here at the Cricket World Cup Experience. Hope you enjoyed reading our articles and watching our videos. If you did so, please comment below. It was a pleasure producing this content for you guys, and I'm already feeling upset that the World Cup is over. I've been your host, Harvey Bhogal. For now, it's time for me to say bye. Hope you guys enjoy your summer and hope to see you at some point in the near future.